Hello, good morning. This is 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗦𝗏 from MassMailer. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. And it's been a few months since I took the last webinar. Glad that I'm back and happy to start this weekly webinar once again. I know this topic was discussed earlier, maybe 1 year ago or even before that. But I thought maybe a refresher webinar is required because I see that a lot of customers keep asking, hey, how do I really customize a report in MassMailer? So thought maybe it's better to just give a fresh update and then just go through this feature. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with Salesforce reports. So MassMailer being a native app to Salesforce CRM, the reports that you see in MassMailer are also similar to what you would create in Salesforce. So we, the reporting feature in MassMailer basically depends on the Salesforce, the report building feature as well. There are some reports that are already packaged with MassMailer. Since MassMailer is a native app to Salesforce, all the objects and the data is right within Salesforce itself. You're pretty much open to just go create your own report types, customize reports, build brand new, whatever you want to do, because the data is in Salesforce and the objects are in Salesforce. And all you have to do is learn how to create Salesforce reports and also what objects hold the Salesforce data, which is again another important thing that you would want to learn about. Perhaps one of these days, maybe I would talk about the objects in the MassMailer. That way, kind of know some that are already visible on the screen and some maybe not visible. But it's good to know at least the high-level objects that we have in MassMailer and how they are related to each other. So now, as part of this webinar, I'm just going to cover what reports we have in MassMailer and how to customize the reports, and also how to create a custom report type in MassMailer. Again, pretty easy, nothing really complicated as such. As long as you know a little bit of knowledge about Salesforce reports, you should be good. Just going to go switch my browser window here. This is MassMailer again. If you ever want to go to reports, you can either go to MassMailer app and then go to reports, or just go to your app launcher and type in reports, and it's one and the same. Or if you already in another app like Sales app or something, typically there would be a reports tab in every single app. You can find it, or just go to the app launcher, go to the reports and click on it. Or from MassMailer app, you can also go to reports because it's one of the tabs that we added. So basically, you go to reports, and then here, if you want to find out all the reports that MassMailer provides, all you have to do is just go to all folders, and then you would find MassMailer reports if you have too many folders in your system. So just make sure that you type in MassMailer so that you can actually find the specific folder. So there's a find feature available. Just type in MassMailer and it's going to bring up the specific folder. And if you ever wanted to search for the reports in MassMailer, that's another way to do it, is just type in MassMailer and it's going to bring up all the reports. Unless somebody changed the name of these reports to something else, you should be able to find all the MassMailer reports just by typing in MassMailer here under all reports. So I'll go back to all folders just to give you the look of this folder. So this is MassMailer reports folder. And we have all these reports that are already packaged. So if you find anything under MassMailer reports, before you add in new reports, those are all packaged reports. And all of them should be having the name of MassMailer in it. That's all it's going to look, and there's going to be a description, so you should be able to figure it out easily. Okay, and some of the reports I'm going to cover, such as very important ones, the outreaches report, right? So if you're going to use outreach, I mean, typically you would be using campaign or Salesforce campaign, or the MassMailer outreach wizard to send out emails. Whatever you do, end of the day, it's going to create an outreach record, MassMailer outreach record, as you know. So there's one report for MassMailer outreaches report. This is pretty much just going to bring up all the outreaches that you have in MassMailer. And you can customize this, apply certain filters, and make sure that you bring up only the ones that you want to look at. By default, it's going to give you the statistics for each outreach, meaning each campaign that you're sending, such as opens and clicks and everything. You can always customize this. And how do you do that? So what we recommend that you always clone this, meaning save as something else so that you don't lose the original MassMailer outreaches report. So that's the first start, or rather that's how we recommend you to do. So I'm just going to go save this as something else, and I can call this as MassMailer outreaches report, maybe custom one. Or you can do whatever whatever name you want to give, that's fine, it's up to you, right? Based on your requirements, right? So you could be saying, hey, MassMailer outreaches report for 2023 Q1, an example. So whatever you want to name this report as, it's up to you. But just go save this. Now what we've done, we just created or cloned a report, MassMailer's outreaches report, and then it brings up exact same thing. There's no change because we've not really applied any filters, nothing of the sort. So it's exact same report that you see in the packaged reports. So now if you want to edit this, you have an option here. Again, click on this edit. That'll basically bring up the edit report editing page or screen. And here, again, if you're not familiar with Salesforce, it's a lot of tutorials available about Salesforce reports. Nothing really complicated, tough as such. It's quite easy to understand. And, again, I don't want to get into a full-blown reporting webinar here. This is just to kind of showcase or show you a few things that you could do. And if you really want to learn Salesforce reports, I recommend going to Trailblazer and make sure that you're familiar with the Salesforce reports feature in general. So there are three things that are very important. One is what fields are getting displayed, right? That's what you see here. And then are you doing any grouping? And then filters. What filters have you applied on the report? And then the actual results itself, right? So pretty much when you're doing the customization, you're just going to be here in these two tabs here, filters and outline, right? If you want to add a new column, or if you actually wanted to delete a column from this, you can delete it just by clicking on this, or you can add a column just by going here. And if you want to know, hey, what is my BCC address, an example, right? Just go add that field. And if you want to refresh this, there's a refresh link here. All you need to do is just refresh, and it's going to bring up that field value here. And again, this is just going to show you the partial results. It's not giving you the full-blown results, to be honest. It's giving you the partial results. And now, if you want to add some filters, so what you have to do, go to the filters, and then you can apply filters right here. So for example, this is saying, hey, bring up all the outreaches scheduled on all time, right? And if you don't want to do scheduled on, you can just say, hey, created, right? MassMailer outreach created date. You can do created date all time. Or if you don't want all time, if you just wanted, hey, I wanted something for a specific duration, right? So you could have something that is custom, yeah? Pick a date. So for example, you want to do it for, say this month, the whole month, you can do that. And then pick a date here, end date, you can apply. That's going to give you for the whole month. But if you wanted that to be a little bit more easy on you, so, for current financial year, and then for the current financial quarter or next financial quarter, calendar year, and you have the calendar quarter options and calendar month. Like, for example, this month is going to bring in everything for September, right? So that's the range that you are giving in, and you just apply and then refresh this. And that's going to bring up only those outreaches that are created this month. Maybe if you want to actually filter by the name. And again, these are all cryptic names and default names that we have. So this may not be a great example, but I just want to show you an example if you want to apply this by the name. So all you have to do is just apply and refresh. And that's going to bring in. So it seems like, I think it doesn't like certain fields there. I mean, the values there. So let's just see. Okay, so let me have to delete few things. Okay, so it doesn't like that bracket maybe. So it's like basically contains and the name of the outreach. And I'm assuming typically you won't have brackets in your scenario. So anyways, you can always rename the outreach if it's too cryptic. I recommend make a better name, give a better name so that it's human friendly and easy to apply filters as well, right? So once you're done, all you have to do is click on this save and run, and that's going to basically save your report under the new name that we're given. That's MassMailer Outreach Reports Report Custom 1. And that basically would give you the results. Right now, it's just showing only one outreach for the month of September because we applied 2 filters, right? And if you quickly want to go to filters, so this is in the way. So all you have to do is click on this filters icon. It's just going to show you the filters right there. You can just go to the filter panel and you can refresh this if you wanted to refresh the results. You can turn off the chart if you don't want the chart. And again, if you just want to edit again, go ahead and click on this edit and take care of it. And again, if you wanted to clone this, all you have to do is save as and then create a brand new report. If you want to export this, so you would click on this export, and that's going to ask you, I believe, what type of the report it's going to be, like formatted report or just the details. And then it's going to ask you the Excel, it's going to export in Excel format by default, right? So click on this export, and that's going to give you the actual report in the Excel sheet, right? So that's, the basics of a report, nothing fancy and complicated as I mentioned. So you just have to know a few things, little things that you want to really apply. It's very important to know first that, what all objects are holding this data, right? So MassMailer outreaches is your campaigns. And then there are a few others that I would like to cover. So if I go back to our folders again, go to MassMailer reports, there are a few other objects that you may see, such as MassMailer email status, which is, again, most of the times you may be using this, or verification status, meaning you want to validate the email address. So you may want to just click on this verify status and then find out the report that you have for all the validation jobs that you've run, right? And similarly, few others such as email status for a specific campaign, email status for only leads. You can also find out email status for the outreach and email status for the contact. So this is basically cross-referencing objects. So if I click on this MassMailer email status with contact, it actually shows you only the contact one, right? I'm just going to go show you just a moment. And it's going to bring up only the MassMailer email status values related to the contacts. Again, it doesn't have any results. I'm going to go refresh this and see what's going on. So it says contains Google. So there's some filter that's applied. It says bring in all the email status events, but click URL should be Google. There's nothing. So I'm just going to go refresh that, and that's going to bring in, contact-wise, that's what you got. As I said, somebody may have updated this. This may not be the actual out-of-the-box report in this org, but they have forgotten to save as, and that's why it has very less fields here. But if you go to your org, this may have full-blown details. So as you can see here, so we displaying 3 fields there. Again, where do you mention that? Here. So all 3 fields are being displayed are added here. If you want to know more, such as like say bounce type, okay, or what email is it, right? So email subject and email address. So I know the email address, and then there are more values such as the type field is there. And then if you look at it, there are many more fields that you see on this MassMailer email status, such as user agent, the clicked URL. So since this is a cross-referencing report between MassMailer email status and contact, you would see that the contact fields are also displayed here, okay? If it's a generic report, not really having any cross-reference to other objects, so contact fields will not be displayed. So if you want to know, okay, what is the first name of the contact, an example, you can always select that, and that would be shown in the actual results, right? Or maybe the account name, right? You can do that as well. So, for example, first name and refresh. So that will basically show you the first name as well. And we added a few more things here: email subject, bounce type, and then email and the actual type as well. And if you want to know what type of event is that, you just have to select that event field, and that's gonna show you what is the actual event, the delivered, processed, and those kind of events also are shown here, right? So this is with contact, and again, I recommend that you always save as. That way you're not really, so I'm gonna go and remove this copy off. Start this with the contacts. And I'm just gonna go something on this line, right? And save it. And again, there's no difference in terms of how to apply filters and how to add these columns. It's one and the same for all of them. Rest of the features are the same. You just need to know the fields that you really want to bring in specifically from the MassMailer objects or any other related objects as well, right? Now, if you go back and take a look at the actual reports, I'm going to go to the folders, bring in all MassMailer email status report, right? So again, you need to know the fields that are available in this object. So basically, click on the edit button there, and then you can apply filters here, right? So this is all time. Event time is all time, and then all MassMailer email status. If you want to corner this down to say only say bounce, you just apply the actual the bounce type, even bounce type, and then actual type is blocked, and the event time is also displayed here, right? Because those are the ones that we're actually displaying. What is the event and what is the event time? and the actual type of that event as well. So these are all soft blocks. That's what we call them as, right? And that's what is being displayed here, right? And you can apply any other filters if you wanted to. You can just say, hey, I don't want on time, but I wanted the event time should be maybe only for current month, current quarter, right? So let's say it's one, and apply, and that's going to bring in the results only for the date that were bounced only this month. So it seems like then none. So you may want to just say, hey, I want everything, maybe the current financial year, something on those lines, and then refresh, and that's going to bring in all the email status values or records for this particular current financial year, right? So if you think you're good to go, this is what you're looking for. You can again save as. We did not do that, so I'm just going to go say save as statements report. Let's say I'm going to go delete that. Report one. Okay. That's number one. Something like that. Right? So you basically save this report as something else, and then you basically apply all the filters and stuff like that. So that's how it is, how easy it is. And then if you want to take a look at other reports, again, you need to go to the folder where you stored all of them, and then click on this, and it will show you other reports that we have, such as verification status, for example, right? The A/B testing report, and then outreaches with campaign, and a few other things such as verification jobs, and unique opens for a lead, unique opens for the contact, and MassMailer email status with outreach is there, and performance reports. The field that we're displaying are very different. The performance report, and then suppression list, very important. Again. The suppression list will hold all the unsubscribes, anything that's a hard bounce, it'll hold it. And then, dropped is another one. Unsubscribe, we talked about. Group unsubscribe is also a part of it. So there are many suppressions that you may be seeing them in MassMailer. You can certainly just go, update or customize this particular report for anything specific that you're looking for. So the process is the same. There's no difference. All you have to do is go click on that particular report, which you want to customize. And again, I would always start with save as, so you don't lose what you already have. And then you can just go give a name here. So customer list, custom log, and then save this. So that basically would be giving you a report that can be edited, so that you don't lose the original one. Again, if you want to edit this, all you need to do is click on this edit. And suppressions are different type of suppressions. So if you apply a filter, again, there is event or the suppression type. So if you set a suppression type, and then equals to unsubscribe, that may bring in any results if at all somebody unsubscribed. So it seems like unsubscribe is not there. I'm gonna do contains now. If you have any group unsubscribes, they'll bring in those results. So seems like suppression type contains unsubscribe. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there's one, sorry, group unsubscribe, as you can see. So there's one there that has suppression type group unsubscribe. So you need to know the type of, all the values that suppression type would hold. There are not that many, such as bounce. You may see the group unsubscribe as well. And then it could be just a global unsubscribe, which is unsubscribe, or maybe a spam report, right? So even the spam reports are also flagged as sufficient. And then a few more if you're validating email addresses, we may also capture, such as invalid email address, everything. Those are all already put into sufficiency. So that's basically how you can actually customize the sufficiency. And if you are done, all you have to do is click on the save and run, or just save. You don't want to run it. And that basically will show you that report that has been completed. And if you want to find out other reports, again, we can just go to the folders and then go here. So we looked at the sufficiency as well, and a few other like unique collection for contact and lead and stuff like that. Those are available. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So they're not that many, mainly the outreach, email status, sufficiency, and the verification status thing. Those are the reports of the package, and you can always customize them. If you ever wanted to create your own, you can do that. So new report, right? So you can just go ahead and click on that new report. And then you have to select like the report type. What report type is that? So for example, email status with lead. So you select that and then just start a report fresh, right? So you can always give a new name here. You can call this as, my email status report, something on those lines, right? So that basically let you save this under a new name, and you can apply filters as usual. So apply these filters and also what fields you want to display, and that becomes your new report. So that's how you basically create and then try to run a new report on the platform. If you actually wanted to build report type, because the report types are also very important, sometimes you may want to have other objects involved with what we create. So let's say go to report types. You start to type in report, and it'll show you everything. And then here, it's gonna show you some details there. All you're gonna do is click on that next button, and then that'll basically take you to this page, and then you just say, hey, I want to create a brand new report. It's gonna ask you, okay, what is your parent object? So for an example, you want to do it on MassMailer email status. Okay, so that's the primary object which you're gonna query, and then it's gonna ask you what is the report type. You can just say, hey, email status report type 1, right? So just give that name, and then store in what category. So since this is a different type of an object, which is not standard, you can just say other reports, and that's a category you want to use. And this is already deployed or in development. So if it's in development, that's better. You can always deploy it later. And then you basically will have to give some description as well. So I'm just gonna say something here. Report, something on those lines. Yeah. And then just go next. And then it is basically showing you that MassMailer email status, the primary object. Okay. And then, yeah, so you can always bring in other object in this if you wanted to. If you don't want to, then you just say, hey, that's my report type. And then it's gonna basically ask you to create a report based on this report type. So it is called email status RT1. So reports and dashboards, if you go, that's actually going to bring up. Okay, so this is all related to the reports setup. We should go to the actual reports itself. I'm going to go ahead and open the reports. So what we've done so far is we just created a report type called email status R1. So here, if you're trying to create a brand new report, not a report type, so you click on this new report, and then it's going to ask you, what is the report type you want to use? So here, it's showing recently used. So I would do all, and then I would just say type. Maybe report type or something. Okay, let's just see. Okay, so what we're given is this one. This is the name for the report type. So you basically do the same name, so that easy for you to select the report type. So all you've done is you're selecting a report type that we created, and now you're actually going to go create a report based on the report type we just created. And it's quite easy. So once you're here, all you have to do is apply the filters proper manner. And then you can apply the filter here. That'll bring up the new search results. Once you're happy with this, all you have to do is click on the save button. That should do it. So click on save, and that's going to actually bring up that report that you just created. And again, I've not done full-blown report type and reports. Just want to show you how to navigate through Salesforce if you want to create a report type and a report. This is going to cover this one thing. So if you want to create a report type, you will have to go to Salesforce setup, right? Once you're in Salesforce setup, that's when you would type in here the report type in the quick find, and you should be able to take it from there, report type. It shows there, and you will have to create a report type from here. Create a new custom report type. So as you can see, we created one before, and that's what it's showing here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Happy to clarify any questions you may have. Okay, seems like no questions today. Right, so go back here. So this is the contact information and the company information. So feel free to email me or the company email address, or go to our website and schedule a call, or drop in a note to us. If you're new to MassMailer, just get a free trial. We provide 15-day free trial. We also set it up and train you on the trial as well. This is a weekly webinar, happens every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's a new time. Just make note of it. Then any questions, let us know. We're going to post this video to our YouTube channel. And then we'll be posting this to all our social media as well. And then we're going to send an email. If you're in the distribution email list, you will receive an email from with all the details about this webinar and also the upcoming webinar as well. Once again, thank you so much for joining the call today. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Thank you.